This is Love, Sex, and Society with Bridget and Dawn. Please like, subscribe, and share.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Love, Sex, and Society with Bridget and Dawn. Glad that y'all joined us on this. I don't even know what the hell weather this is. What the hell's going on with the weather, yo?
It's
like very bipolar. Like 80 to 30 to 50. Supposed to freeze tonight.
Is it?
Then 70 right after that. Yeah, this shit is crazy. But
can we talk about something?
Yes.
Bob Barker is fucking racist.
Yes. Did you see that shit? Did you see? He told, and they showed multiple clips. I see multiple clips where he's all friendly and huggy with the white people and black people. He like, nah.
The whole time it's like black people love him.
Hell yeah. My mom used to watch him every day.
Yeah. I'm pissed off.
That's just messed up.
And because I want to say that he died like last year, and before last year, I was talking to my grandfather, and I'm like, I thought Bob Barker had already died, and my grandfather was like, no, he's still alive. And I was like, he's still alive? So I think I looked it up, and I don't know if he was like 89 or, not 89, 98 or something. Like, and I want to say he died at 99, but I was like, dang, I'm like, he lived a long life. He must have been a good man. And whole time this piece of shit is racist. I was pissed off.
He sold his soul to the devil. That's how he stayed alive.
Yo, that shit was
racist
wild.
Ass. Yeah, because like all my childhood, I watched. What's the name? What is not Family? That's Family Feud.
The Price is Right.
Price is Right. Yeah. Watched that shit all as a kid, and whole time this motherfucker was racist.
I know.
Fucked up. All right, we gonna have some serious conversation tonight. Because it is Sexual Assault Awareness Month, and I had to say that slowly because earlier I was like, it's Sexual Month. Nope, wrong. Sexual Assault Awareness Month. So I do wanted to go through some stats. I'm also going to put a number up for a minute. The number that you see on your screen, that is the National Sexual Assault Hotline. So if you've been assaulted or if you know somebody that's been assaulted, you can reach out to that line and it'll get you directed to someone local in your area that will help you. So I talk about this with my wife a lot because like she doesn't believe like the statistics can be as they are. And I'm like, there's very few women I've known in my entire life that has not been either sexually assaulted, sexually harassed. So I wanted to go through some stats. I know y'all don't get to see this often, but I'm putting on my damn glasses because I'm struggling over here. All right. So 1 in 2 women have experienced some contact of some type of sexual violence in their life. 1 in 2 women. So if you walk into a room and there's 30 women, it's a good chance that 15 of them have been sexually assaulted. Ages of victimization. So 69% of all sexual assault victims are between the ages of 12 and 34, with a significant portion occurring between 11 and 17. Over 4 in 5 sexual assault victims are either African American, Native American, or from the Native Alaska descent. College age women, 18 to 24 women are 3 times more likely to experience sexual violence in their lifetime. Like that's when it's going to happen to them during that age range. Now this I did know, 78% of all sexual assaults are committed by someone that the victim knows, either an acquaintance, a partner, or a family member. The reason that I wanted to kind of start off with this, for one, it's the month of sexual assault awareness. So I didn't want the month to go by without at least touching base on it. But like in my orbit, you know what I'm saying? Like, ew, my wife, I got daughters, my sisters. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of women in my orbit. And I don't think that sexual assault is taken serious enough. Like you know what I'm saying? You got nieces.
Mm-hmm.
How do you, as a woman, first of all, how do you feel as a woman on those statistics? I'm sure that's gotta freaking irritate the hell out of you.
Definitely. And to also know that it's like, sometimes women aren't believed, even when they do speak up.
Mhm.
I feel like we talked about that before, but I feel like sometimes, you know, I feel like sexual assault is a serious thing where I feel like it's traumatic. And just like with anything that's traumatic, I feel like people can bury it, they want to forget about it, because it's like the
Mhm.
more that you relive it, the more emotional it will make you be. So sometimes I feel like women who have fell victim to it, they want to forget about it, but again, when you suppress things, eventually it comes out in other ways, either drug abuse, alcohol abuse, things like that, because you bury something deep in your mind, something traumatic, and you're doing things to try to forget about it, but the biggest things the biggest thing is when it comes to women, I feel like, and I had this conversation, I had a serious conversation with my nieces actually recently, two of my nieces that are teenagers. When I was a teenager, I never had that conversation about like
Right.
sex, or I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, it's a generational thing. I can say that like a lot of people that are my age, like some millennials, have also told me that our parents have never sat down with us and had a conversation about sex or boundaries, or if someone makes you feel uncomfortable, or whatever the case may be.
Mhm.
So I think some of us were set into this world a little bit naive and not really knowing like how to speak up for ourselves and stuff like that. So I think it's very important to have conversations with young girls, um just so that they know, like, if someone ever makes you feel uncomfortable, that's not okay. Just because someone likes you, that don't give them no right over your body, things like that. um and of course, if something do happen, don't be afraid to speak up to whoever you feel safe around. Give that young girl, um you know give them the feeling that it's like you can talk to me, if anything was to happen. I think that's very important. But I mean, it's sad, and just as much as I feel like we need to have conversation with young girls, we also have to have conversation with young boys and let them know that it's like, you have both are to be respected. You can't just take something because you want it. Teaching respect when it comes to women. So I feel like conversations definitely starting at like young ages, because I think
Yeah.
lack of those conversations is why a lot of the time it happens.
Yeah. Because and I'll never put it on a woman. Um because a woman should be able to carry herself any way they want. Men should just have a lot more restraint. But a lot of times young ladies will put themselves in situations that are conducive to that happening.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and even though, yeah, they still shouldn't be taken advantage of. There's certain situations you should avoid. The ironic thing, like when I was looking through the stats, or one of the ironic things, you would think that social media would make our children more aware, but with the burst of social media and social media presence, sexual assault shot up 83%.
Mm-hmm.
Um, because a lot of women will get pulled in a situation. Guy jumps in the DM. Oh, he seems like a really nice guy, and then you go hang out with him, and then this really nice guy don't know how to take a no for an answer.
Right.
So avoid putting yourself in situations. But guys, I know this shit is cliche like a motherfucker, but no really does mean no. It don't mean not right now. It don't mean wait until you ask me enough times. It means no and back away from it. There's a lot of celebrities who have gotten caught up in that, thinking, "Oh, she's not really telling me no. She don't really mean no. It's me. No, she meant no. Let that go. You
Yeah.
know." Um, and ladies, it's a dangerous world out here, and I know I joke around about sex and all that stuff, and because casual sex, I joke around about a lot of that stuff. But when it comes to rape and sexual assault, and even sexual harassment, I take that really serious. Like I said, I got daughters, I got sisters. I got a wife that got to walk out the house, every day. Um, and just because a woman dresses a certain way for her own pleasure, that doesn't mean that she's doing it for your attraction. Um, if her shirt is low cut, she just wanted to have a low cut shirt. If her shorts may be a little short, she wanted to have her shorts a little short. But that's not an invitation for you to harass them.
Right.
Um, so I definitely wanted to at least touch base on it. Um, and hopefully any women out there that watch the show, if you have been a victim of sexual assault, don't keep it to yourself. Like Bridget said, it's if you bottle that up, it comes out in the worst ways. Um, because sometimes what you'll do is you'll compensate for being assaulted by becoming overly sexual so that you can feel like you're in control of your sexuality and you wasn't a victim. But
Right.
if somebody did something to you and you didn't give the permission, you were a victim, you do need to get some type of therapeutic help, just to get it off your mind, or at least start to heal from it. um, right, we ain't gonna stay too serious too long, but I definitely wanted to touch base on that. The numbers at the bottom of the screen, so if you know somebody who hasn't wanted to talk to anyone about it, that's a good line for them to reach out to, and they'll get them some therapy in the area.
Yeah.
So
And
go
I
ahead.
also I also wanted to say, because I've said this on here before, but why talking about it, it helps the healing process.
Hmm.
Just releasing it from out your body, can help you heal from that situation. That's the point of therapy. That's the point of, like, speaking it out loud, so that you're not feeling like you're holding it in. So
Hmm.
I think it's very important, even if you don't feel comfortable, speaking up to the person who did it, telling someone, and healing from that, so that it's not taking over you and controlling you, for the rest of your life. It's not hunting you.
Yeah, because I've seen women who, um, because of what they've gone through and they've never received any type of therapy, either something will happen during a sexual act and they'll act out.
Hmm.
Like it'll take them back to that moment, and the person that they're with, they're not the ones that assaulted them, but in their mind, that person is assaulting them, and they'll act out.
Yeah.
Um, so find a healthy way to heal from it. Um, and I can't say enough, guys. Don't do that. Don't be that guy. You know what I'm saying? I don't care what you go
Yeah, but
through, or
it's unfortunately, it happens to boys too. So
it does. It does. And another thing I found, and I knew this in some states. In some states, a man can't even file sexual harassment
mm, that's crazy.
because it's expected that he's supposed to be able to take care of it and deal with it.
Hmm.
Um, and I thought that was crazy. Like, so a woman woke up on me at work and grabbed my butt. I can't say, hey, I wasn't comfortable.
Right. But
Um,
I
so
mean,
yeah,
I've heard of boys getting raped by other boys, or grown men.
yeah,
So um and I feel like stuff like that brings it end up makes the victim feel like, ashamed of themselves,
Yeah.
in reality, it's not your fault, and I just, I whether you're a man or a woman who's been sexually assaulted, I do feel like you should, seek therapy, heal from it, not to say it might be a lifelong journey of trying to heal from something, because you feel like someone took, something from you, but
Hmm.
you have to realize your power and take it back, not allowing someone to have control over you for the rest of your life, and just know that, that person will get their karma.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even if you don't go to the authorities, because that's an uphill battle most of the time. Um, and I'll still not tell any woman, if a guy sexually assaults you, if you're sexually harassed at work, report it. Let someone know.
Hmm.
Um, but even if that's not your avenue, let karma deal with them, but get the healing for yourself.
Right.
Um, that's the most important thing. And telling someone, especially like a therapist, first of all, whatever you say in a therapy session stays between you and them, unless as long as you're not going to hurt yourself or someone else. Um, so getting that off your chest and knowing that it's going to stay right there in that room, it's going to help you. It's going to help you in a lot of ways. Um, so yeah, uh, sexual assault awareness month is the entire month of April. So take this month, speak to your daughters, speak to your sisters, um, speak to female friends that you know. Guys, don't be afraid to have a conversation with your boys if this is something that happened to you. If you got one of your homeboys that you can really trust, have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Get it off your chest, get it out there. Um, Being assaulted does not make the victim wrong. And I think that's the most important thing. You're not the one that's wrong. So no matter what the circumstances were, understand that your only job, your only thing that you really need to do is get healing for yourself. Um, because pushing it down is it's not gonna help you, and it's just gonna end up hurting you more and more. It'll hurt relationships. Um, you won't be able to trust men the same way. So definitely get that out there and get the help that you need. We're gonna leave the number up. Um, but yeah, have the conversations this month, um, and you'll be amazed at how many women that you speak to have had something happen to them, and they haven't been able to speak to anyone. Um, I was in a class and when I was about 18, and the teacher had everybody sit in a circle, and I don't know what made her bring it up, but she brought it up, and every woman in the class, every young lady in that class had been sexually assaulted. And it was, I think I want to say it was 12 ladies and like 8 guys. All 12 of those young ladies had been sexually assaulted at some point in their life. And they were only 18. So they hadn't even lived a whole lot of life.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, get the help you need. After that day, I've always held this really, really serious. Um, and then after I had daughters, it was like, I wish you don't have to wait. You don't have to worry about karma coming back to you. I am karma.
Yeah.
But we're gonna jump off into the next topic, so we don't get too serious for too long. But what you got, Bridge?
So my topic is, do you believe that people unintentionally um have less respect for unmarried or childless women?
Yes, they do, and it's ignorant. Because some women have made an active choice just not to go that route. I know a lot of women who have focused more on their careers
Mm-hmm.
than getting married or having children. Um, they did the same thing to Kamala when she was running to become president, there was like, oh, how can she stick up for children's rights if she don't have children, which was an ignorant statement. But
Yeah.
I don't have you ever experienced that? Because I'm saying, like, I know you don't have children, I'm saying, not married yet.
Yeah.
Have you experienced that?
I feel like I have experienced it a lot in my life. I feel like for a long time, certain people in my family didn't respect me just because I simply wasn't a mother. Um,
Mm.
so it's like, for example, like my younger sister, she's a mother. Well, she's always been a mother. She's been a mother, for a while now, over 13 years. So even around that time when my younger sister had her first child, I would notice that people in my family, like if I would speak up for myself or whatever the case may be, it was like they were still talking to me like I'm a child.
Oh
Um,
wow.
but my younger sister was like a whole different level of respect, and I'm like, the only thing that I could pin it to was the fact that it's like, because she's younger than me. So it's not like, I'm not giving Bridget respect
Right.
because she's not old enough. It's just simply because you don't look at me like I'm a woman because I don't have a child, you know.
That's
Um,
crazy.
yeah, which it wasn't my mother, but it was like other people in my family. So and I feel like my mom has always respect me as a woman, but other people in my family, and it really bothered me because I feel like when I would defend myself, um they would get mad and try to hold a grudge and stuff like that, So I had to do things like set boundaries and stuff for people to learn that you gotta respect me as a woman, and I'm not a child, Um, and I also feel like in other ways too, like I feel like people look at it like when you're either unmarried or you don't have children, like you don't have responsibility. So I feel like people will ask you for favors that I feel like they wouldn't ask for someone who say they're a mother of two or something like that,
Mm.
People look at it like, oh well, you don't have kids, so you can come do this for me. And it's just like, I'm an adult, I work like everybody else. On my off days I gotta run errands like everybody else, my
Hmm.
time and whatever I choose to do is not dedicated to people just because y'all look like it looks like to you that I have one less responsibility than the average adult, you know. Um and so yeah, I feel like people over the years, people got real comfortable like asking me for stuff that you would never ask a woman that has children, because you just assume, oh, she don't have children, she's not married, you got time, it doesn't matter what it is, she can do it, which I feel like is extremely unfair. And then in a sense it makes you feel like, I'm not gonna say it makes you feel like you're less of a woman, but I feel like that's how you feel like you're being treated, like you're not a
Mm.
woman, you don't feel respected, because whether I have a child or not, I am a woman and my time is also valuable. And like I said, I have a life. I have things I have to do. I have goals I'm trying
Hmm.
to accomplish. If anything, me being unmarried, I have to do these things by myself,
Right.
So that's why I feel like it should be respected. But I feel like it's unintentional. I feel like a lot of people do it to unmarried women and women who have no children, and they don't even realize that they do it. But to me, because I've seen it so much in my life, I feel like it's the biggest sign of disrespect.
Like, I had never realized, because just growing up, like, women got pregnant young, had kids, 18,
Yeah.
19, 20. And in the last, I'd probably say 3 years, I have met more women in their 30s, 40s, and 50s that have no children, never been married. Um, and the one thing I do appreciate about the women that I've met, they wear that as a badge of honor. Like, I didn't just get knocked up by the first dude that came along and said he loved me. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
respect that. You know what I'm saying? You had enough respect for yourself to say, you know what? if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to get married, if I'm going to have a child, I'm going to make sure that it's someone who respects me, treats me right. I'm not doing it just because society says that's what you have to do.
Right.
Um, and not to take anything from women who did have children, whatever the circumstances were, you fell in love. The guy you said he was going to be everything to you, and turned out he wasn't. That's okay, but don't take it away from a woman who said, you know what, I'm gonna respect my body. He's gonna respect my body. I'm not just gonna get knocked up just because he said, you know what I'm saying, oh, you cute and you got a big booty, so I should get knocked up by him. I think a lot more respect need to be given to women who are making conscious decisions to be respectful of themselves.
Yeah.
Um, I have children, and I did not marry any of my children's mothers, but I did still treat them with respect and still honor them for who they were. But that's not every guy that's out there.
Yeah.
Um, not most guys, but some guys are like, you know what I'm saying, if we're not together, that child's not my responsibility. If you want to leave and you want to take the baby, go on. I'm just gonna go ahead and live footloose and fancy free.
Mm-hmm.
And they're leaving that responsibility on the woman, or the guys who get married and they're not really ready to be married, and they go out and they cheat. And um like, I think a woman who says to herself, yes, these are the things that I want, but these are the things that I want to have in place before I make that decision, or this is who I want to be with before I jump that broom, or allow this guy to get me pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of responsibility in that. Like, um, to me, it looks worse on somebody who has been married and now they're divorced, because it creates a bitterness.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know women who've been married 3, 4, 5 times, and I'm like, all right, take a step back and figure out who you actually want to be with, because it's not just because I'm dating a guy that I'm supposed to marry him, or I'm dating a woman I'm supposed to marry her.
Yeah.
It's not like that. You have to make some real conscious decisions, because marrying the wrong person, just like getting pregnant by the wrong person, can ruin your damn life.
Right.
Um, I know people who have lost half of all their shit, because they got married to somebody, and that shit wasn't going to work out before you decided to get married. Not sure why you got married,
Mm-hmm.
but once you get married, certain things happen. Private property is public property at that point. And if you buy stuff while y'all married, you got to split that down the middle. And ladies, that can even be your damn car. If you buy a car and y'all married, that is joint property. He has to give you permission to take that car with you. Now, I don't know what fool's gonna be like, I want to keep paying half your car note and you driving the car around. That's probably not gonna happen. But all of your property has to get split up. You got to make decisions.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and we all know the drawbacks of getting pregnant by the wrong person. So I think women such as yourself, who are more conscious of the decisions that they make, should be more respected.
Yeah.
Because you made very adult decisions early in your life. You could have got knocked up anytime.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Like I can appreciate people who do respect it, but I think I just feel like it happens a lot, even when it comes to, like, people say stuff all the time. I don't see how someone with no kids can be struggling. It's like, we're human beings. We have problems just like everybody else. Um, people just look at it like, when you don't have kids or you're not married, like, all your problems are just go away. And reality is, like, you struggle, you know, sometimes, like, we go through things emotionally, depression, all types of things that I feel like people who are, unmarried or childless, they go through, and people just like, well, you don't have no kids, so you don't have you don't have, because you don't have the same problems that I have, which is my biggest problem. you know, it's not that big of a deal, but it is. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if somebody is struggling financially, or someone's struggling internally, mentally, depressed or whatever the case may be, that is a big problem, and so I just feel like a lot of the times people feel like, to me, it's like less respected, because it's like people are so quick to be like, just brush the things that we deal with under the rug, because they're like, well, it's not that big of a deal compared to what I got going on, But in reality, it's
Right.
like, you don't know what my life is just because I'm unmarried and I don't have kids, Like, my problems could be bigger than yours. You don't know what I'm going through. Um, and I don't know. And also, it's that thing of people trying to say, oh, you don't have kids, so you can't speak on kids. I absolutely can speak on kids. Like, you can't tell me that I can't speak on kids. Like, I feel like any adult can have an opinion. Like,
Mm-hmm.
I got over 8 nieces and nephews. You know what I'm saying? I've been an aunt since I was 12, 13 years old, a very active aunt. So it's like, no one can sit here and tell me like I can't speak on children. I absolutely can. Um, just like some people would probably say, "Oh, you're unmarried, so you can't speak on relationships." I absolutely can. I can, when people who are in relationships and people who are married come to me with their problems because they want
Right.
a opinion or a solution. So I just feel like, just because you don't have children, just because you're not married, doesn't mean that you can't have enough common sense or intelligence when it comes to those things. Um, Nisha said it's crazy because we're responsible enough to babysit, but oh no, how dare you give advice? Like, when it comes to my sisters,
Mm.
they're mothers, and I'm pretty sure, like, if I ever become a mother, I'ma have the same things where I might be like, feeling like I can't get through to my kids and I need my sisters to step in. And that's something that my sisters do. My sister called me the other day. She's like, Bridget, I need you to get your niece kids. I need you to get your kids. They always kind of like, I need you to get your kids. I need you to talk to your kids. So I just feel like, and then sometimes when you don't have kids or you're not married, you are that person that's just on the outside looking in. Not to say like, we can't fully understand. I feel like you can understand, but you can give a different perspective of an entire situation. You know, um
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the people, believe it or not, sometimes the people that have no children can be the safe spaces for your children.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times children are not going to want to go to their parents, or they just don't want to hear their parents out. And sometimes they feel safe with somebody like that doesn't have no kids, someone that feels like a mentor or a friend, or aunt, or whatever the case may be. But yeah, I don't know that.
So the first thing I want to say is what a lot of people don't realize is a maternal instinct. It's an instinct. Even if you don't have children, you can still have a maternal instinct. There's a lot of women who got children that I wish they never had no damn children
Yeah,
ever. So not everybody is meant to be a mom.
right.
So that's one thing. And then I had a question for you. Do
Hmm.
you think it's more of a guilt trip because you're able to be more free with your time and you're able to do more things, and the people who have children are like, they do certain things to make you feel bad because they feel bad that they can't do what you like? Honest to God, if you woke up next week and you was like, you know what, I want to take the next week off, take a vacation. I don't gotta look for a babysitter. I ain't gotta explain to no dude, hey baby, I want to go on a cruise with my girls. You
Yeah,
ain't gotta do none of that. You can
yeah,
actually get your ass up,
yeah,
pack your shit, and go. So do
yeah.
you think it's more of a guilt trip situation?
Um, I mean, maybe to some people, I can't really say that like the people closest to me, like my sisters, are nothing, because In reality, I feel like the way that I operate, I feel like I don't operate like someone who is single with no kids. Cause you would think like I'm always on vacation. You would think I'm always going out, but I'm not. You know, honestly, like I'll be the first one to be like, you know, you need a babysitter. All right, I'll watch the kid. Like, you know, I literally feel like I'm at a point in my life where I wish I had a kid to have an excuse to not go outside. Like, so people like, you trying to do this? I'll be like, damn, like I wish I had a baby. And like, nah, girl, like I got the baby. Like, can't go
I
outside.
got the baby.
Yeah, you know. So, but maybe to other people, like maybe that's not close to me that might look and be like, oh, like she could do whatever she want. But in reality, it's like at the same time, it's like I do wish that I was married. I do wish that I have a child. So it's like while you're sitting here, might be trying to make me feel bad because I don't have kids or I'm not married. You know, you don't know what I really want. You know, and in reality, it's like I said, like I don't, you know, I don't operate like someone who is single and no kids. If that's, you know, most people who are single with no kids, they're always on the scene. They always going on dates. They always, you know, doing stuff. But I'll literally be like last Saturday, all my nieces and nephews, I'm like, we're going bowling, y'all. You know, like I'm the aunt that got all the kids. You know, so I don't know, but I think some people they might be envious or jealous or whatever you want to consider of women with no kids, just because they might look at it like, oh well, she got the freedom, she ain't got my problem. You know, they might look at it like that, but honestly on the other side, that's not like, I don't think I'm better than no one because I don't have kids or because I'm single. I don't think I'm better than no one, you know. I love when women are married and I love when women have children. Like I think children are a blessing. You know, while some people do resent having their children for whatever reason, because you don't like your child's father or mother, or because children are expensive, you know, people always try to project. Bridget, don't have kids, don't have, look, that's your experience. Like, that's your experience, you know.
And I had to catch myself from making those type of jokes because people were like, oh, such and such is pregnant. I'm like, why? You know what I'm saying? And but I'm also coming from a place of I have children. So why would I do that to somebody who's actually joyous about a situation, to make them seem like it's a like you're damned now? You know what I'm saying? You got children now, you're damned.
Yeah. I think it's someone who don't have children, and people will say, oh, that's just because you don't have, like what I'm about to say, they always say, oh, that's just because you don't have kids, you don't know what it's really like. And I'm like, you can't tell me that I don't know what it's really like. You know, I literally had to help raise my oldest niece, you know, so you can't tell me that I don't really know what it's like to have a child, because anyone who knows me know. But it's just like I don't know, I lost my train of thought, but I don't know,
I
I feel like
think
people, go ahead, sorry.
I think I think women are making more decisions not to just jump into situations,
Yeah.
as opposed to, for example, my generation, it was more common. As a matter of fact, I can't think of many women that I grew up with that don't have any children.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, over the last like 4 years, I have met a lot of women who don't have children, and I'm sitting there looking at them like they got three heads. Like, what? You don't have a what? And these are women in their 40s and 50s, and I'm like, you don't have a child? What do you mean you don't have a child? Because when I was coming up, my group, that was unheard of.
Yeah.
I know every single one of my boys growing up at least has one, at the very least. So there had to be a woman on the other side of that to get pregnant. So, so most of the women I grew up with, I can't think of many that did not have any children. And there might be two that I'm missing right now, just trying to run through the list. But it's cool to be cautious about your body and your moves and the things that, you know what I'm saying, things that you're going to let into your life. be it a child or be it a spouse.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say husband, but don't want that letter crew to get at me. Yes, spouse. You know what I'm saying? So to get married and make sure that the person that you're getting married to you're going to be through it with them for the long haul. Or at least try to.
Mm-hmm.
Shit happens, but you can never predict what somebody's going to be like in 10 years.
Yeah.
But at least you can make some educated decisions like, okay, they don't seem like the type of person who's in the street all the time. I don't like to be in the street all the time. So if we in the house, we in the house together. You know what I'm saying? That's a plus. Like these are things that you need to look at. Because just because a guy says, "Hey, I like to take you out to dinner," and stuff like that, that don't make him a good spouse. That makes him somebody good to go eat dinner with.
Right.
That don't mean you need to dedicate the rest of your life to them. Because if a guy knocks you up, you pretty much you locked in with them for at least 18 years. And even more. You know what I'm saying? I got my oldest is 30, she'll be 32 this year. And luckily me and her mom is super cool, but we've been locked in for the last 30 years, locked in tight. Couldn't avoid each other if we wanted to. So yeah, like it's I don't knock anybody who did, because I had children. But I'm definitely not gonna knock somebody who made some good choices in their life. Not to say having a child is a bad choice, but you chose to wait until you was in a position where if I have a child, I'm going to get married. I'm going to find somebody who has equal likes and things that things that I like to do, they like to do, so that we're not constantly moving in two different directions. Because that's the biggest thing that's going to break up any marriage.
Right.
When you moving in one direction, if you like to stay in the house and they like to be in the club, that's pretty much a recipe for disaster. It's going to split because y'all are roommates, except on the weekends when y'all run in two different directions.
Right. Yeah. I think the biggest thing with it is just like not comparing, not looking at it like, well, I have this and they have that, just number one, respecting anybody, you know what I'm saying? Because me being unmarried and childless woman, I respect women and men that are mothers and fathers, and I respect people who are married. I have the utmost respect. I personally feel like anybody who has children, whether it didn't work out with the person or not, that is the biggest blessing that you can get. To have someone that loves you and you love them in return. I feel like it's a lot of shady ass people in this world. Anyone can turn their back on you, but I feel like as long as you do right by your children are gonna do right by you. I don't care how expensive children are. It is what it is. But to me, you can't put a price on that type of blessing. So I never think that I'm better than no one because I don't have children. Or because I'm single and it looked like, you had this freedom and stuff. But I feel like people should really, stop comparing and respect that everybody's situation is different, and realize how blessed you are. Because while you're looking at a woman that might not have kids and she's single and she might have this freedom, but she might wish she had the blessing that you have, So I think it's just appreciating what God gives you at whatever phase you're at in your life, and not comparing and just respecting that everyone is a human being. Everybody has responsibility just like the next. You don't know what this person has on their plate, and yeah, because I just think it's something that's really unintentionally overlooked. I think it happens a lot. I don't think people think about it, and that's really why I just wanted to talk about it, because I feel like it's important,
Yeah, respect everybody for the decision that they made. It may not be your decision, or it may look to you like the other side is rosy, but make the best of whatever position that you're in,
Mm-hmm.
whether you have children or not. Um, and that's the biggest thing. Like you can't, because I have male friends who do not have any children, and I would always sit there and go, "How in the fuck did you do it?"
Mm-hmm.
But what he did was he made a decision that I'm just not going to have a child. I don't want children.
Yeah.
Um,
And I think also too though, I think like just like how I was talking about respect, like I feel like the same way like someone with children, right? Or someone that's married, you would want someone to respect your marriage. You know what I'm
right,
saying? Like as a woman, I might be single and I might have a friend that's married. I'm not about to try to get her to go out every single weekend because I respect that you're married. You know,
right,
I respect that you're a married woman, you have a husband, and that comes first. And just like a woman that has children, like I'm not about to disrespect you as a mother and expect, oh, I'm trying to do this, let's do this, kick out money for this. And I know that you have 2 or 3 children that you have to tend to, you know,
right,
or not being understanding when you can't do something, you know, or as a woman, if you have children and I'm like, hey, I'm having a cookout or something, you like, well, I have my kids. And I'm like, oh no, you can't bring your kid. You know,
right.
you want me to respect you being married. You want me to respect you being a mother or a father, whatever the case may be. I feel like people need to equally give that respect to people who have no children or people who are not married. You know, just as in like we also have responsibility. We're also doing this alone, so it's not as easy. You know, and just respecting that. You know what I'm saying?
And sometimes, and especially when it comes to women who have children, and they look at women who don't have any children, no, not married, no children, not realizing that quiet time in your house, you wish it was filled with some noise.
Mm-hmm.
No, saying you would rather have a child saying, "Hey, mommy, let's do this," or "Do you want to watch this with me?" So it goes both ways, and like you said, it's equal respect. Because this just because my struggle is different from your struggle, don't make my struggle any lighter than yours. It
Right.
it definitely does not.
Yeah.
All right, what we got? What we got? We got something next. What we got?
All right. I'm gonna just put it on the table. I've been getting a lot of slack because I cuss.
Fuck them.
People have been saying, I try not to cuss while I'm saying none of this, but I don't give a fuck. Sorry. Um. So, in the most recently, I've had people make statements to me like, "Well, maybe you're single because you cuss a lot."
What?
And then I've also had somebody else say, "Oh, somebody might not take you serious as a Christian because you cuss." I'm just trying to figure out, like, yes, I feel like with cussing is really like you're choosing to not use better words. Someone had asked me too, like, "Well, why do you cuss?" And I'm like, I don't know, it's fucking fun. I don't fucking know, you know. But I just feel like, all right, yeah, I feel like most people cuss. I feel like, yeah, every woman might not cuss as much as me, but I personally feel like me cussing don't make me a bad person. You know what I'm saying? Um,
Nah.
so what's your take on women that cuss, Dawn? You think I'm going to hell?
So hell no, and fuck anybody who think you are. Um, so I just think, first of all, for me, it's a release. It's
Mm-hmm.
not that I can't find a word that's better suited for the conversation. It's
Mm-hmm.
a release, and sometimes I just want to say I want to drop an f bomb, and I don't care.
Right.
Um, do I look at women? I look at women who curse certain ways a little different.
Mm-hmm.
Like if somebody's at the top of the block and you all the way at the bottom of the block and you like, bitch, All right. Y'all could have got a little bit closer because the whole damn block didn't need that. But I don't think that. First of all, you're definitely not going to hell. If that's your only sin, you're good. And that's definitely not what's going to keep a guy away from you. Because I curse up a damn storm.
Yeah.
And there are plenty of words that I could have put in place of that curse and chose not to.
Yeah.
And I don't care. You know what I'm saying? So if a woman is sitting there and they're having a conversation with me and we just talking and we just cursing, that shit ain't gonna bother me not one bit.
Yeah.
All your bills paid. If your bills are paid, I don't give a fuck how much you curse. Like I don't care. Yeah. But it doesn't make a woman less attractive. Some knowing when to do it in certain arenas is always important. But if you in the right arena and you want to let that shit fly, let it fly.
Yeah.
It's let that shit go. And I guarantee you're probably less stressed than people who don't curse.
Yeah. I just feel
you
like
get that shit out.
I just feel like don't judge me because I sin differently than you. Like I just feel like for the most part, I feel like I'm a very decent human being. Like I'm an honest person. You know, I don't steal, I don't cheat. Like I don't have hidden intentions when it comes to nothing. I don't feel like I'm like, you know, out to fucking seek revenge when it comes to anybody. I just feel like I don't operate like that. So I feel like me cussing makes me less than like show me a perfect person. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I just feel like, all right, yeah, I cuss. But what do you do? Because I feel like everybody got some shit with them, you know? And I even like, you know, both of these statements came from different people, you know, but I'm just like, okay, yeah, like part of me just like, all right, do I want to all right, yeah, I try sometimes, and then sometimes I'll be like, you know what, I don't care. Like I don't like, you know. But the thing with me is, and this is something that I told myself too, I know how to turn my cussing on and off.
Right.
Like if like whenever I work the job, of course you can't cuss at work. Like, you know, if I'm in front of someone's parents, I'm not cussing. You know, if I'm in front of some elders, I'm not cussing. So then I told myself, like, well, if you really know how to turn it on and off, then Bridget, you really could stop if you really wanted to. You know what I'm saying? Or like, yeah, or like when I'm around children, I wouldn't cuss around kids. You know, unless like I'm with a friend of mine that is like they cuss too, and it's just like, all right, you know, it is what it is. But if I'm around someone that I've never been around their children before, I would never be like cussing in front of their kids, you know. But I just feel like cussing don't make a bad person, and I feel like someone not take me serious, like for someone to say someone might not take me seriously as a Christian because I cuss, like, so you're telling me anybody who labels themselves as a Christian, you telling me they don't sin at all? Like,
right, no
like
sense.
They don't do nothing wrong.
No sense. They are without sin. The last I checked, the last person who had no sins died on the cross. Everybody else got some sin about them. So if that's your sin, if that's the thing that they want to nail you to the cross for, fuck them. Say what the hell's on your mind.
I mean, I could see if someone don't cuss and it's like you don't cuss at all, and it's like if that's your preference, that's cool. You know what I'm saying? But I just feel like you can't make both statements like someone not gonna take you seriously as a Christian because you cuss. Like that's crazy to me. And because I feel like some people who committed the most worst sins, they done went and got baptized. So I just feel like you can't. First of all, if you're not God, you can't judge me. Period. Right. I really don't give a fuck with the heavy F what y'all think. Because y'all not God. You know what I'm saying? And I know who I am, and I know where my heart is. You know, I know I'm a good person. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, but I just feel like those is bold statements to make. And I just feel like if you don't like it, that's cool, you know, but I feel like who's for me loves me. And I feel like people who know me and know like, okay, yeah, Bridget might cuss, but Bridget always got my back. Like, you know, that's one thing people around me can't sit there and say, like, all right, yeah, she cussed, but she real. She going, you know what I'm saying?
Right. She may curse, but she ain't shitting on me every day. You know what I'm saying?
Like, I don't know.
And any guy that thinks, okay, well, I can't be with this woman because she cursed. Well, find a woman who don't curse, because that's probably not the woman for you anyway. Because
Yeah.
a woman who can kind of let go and let loose, she's typically more down to earth. She's chill. My wife will curse up a damn storm if you let her. No, not even if you let her. She'll curse even if you don't let her. She's gonna let that shit go. But I also curse, so we match. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
You're gonna find a guy who's gonna be like, and you're gonna be sitting there trying to hold back the curse because you listening to what everybody else say.
Yeah.
And you're gonna be sitting there going, damn, maybe I'm not right for her because I like the fucking curse. And you're gonna be like, you do? Fucking A. Like, damn, I've been waiting to curse all day.
Yeah. I think instead of like someone like judging me for like cussing, I think like the fact that I don't cuss around children or like my elders, or I wouldn't go around someone's parents and start cussing. You know, I know it's a time and a place for everything. I think that matters more than the fact that I just cuss. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Because I feel like you have adults that don't know the time and the place to shut that off. You know,
Right.
To me, I find people like that, not to be judgmental, but I think that's more disrespectful than someone who you could just be like, oh, you cuss. You know, at least I don't cuss in front of older people, you know, because I know that everyone don't want to hear that, you know. So I feel like I'm respected, you know, I can respect when people don't want to hear that, but I feel like if I'm in rooms with people and it's like, you let your guard down, you cuss, then I'm like, okay, I can cuss and be myself. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I feel like as long as I'm like being respectful to people who don't like that, you know, I feel like that's all that matters, you know?
I think judge people for, but we don't give them the accolades for the things that we do see in them.
Mm-hmm.
If it goes, oh my God, but Bridget is such an amazing person. You know what I'm saying? Bridget's always there when you need her. If you're gonna all the things I do fucking right in this world.
Yeah.
Oh my God, like they always there. Owner, like she takes care of her own, like she does her own thing. Give me the accolades.
Mm-hmm.
If you're gonna say the one thing as a Christian, you better all the Jesus like things that I walk around and do all day. You better. I need to hear that shit. I need flowers all day.
Yeah.
Because that's a small thing. That's a small insignificant thing to fault somebody over.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And like I said, I like to curse. Fuck it, like I do. It's gonna be hard when we when this show gets to the point where we can't curse the way I like to. Shit, yeah. We gonna have to be beep 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 beep.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, that's
yeah.
And for somebody to say the guy's not gonna take you serious, that's not the. We don't about that. We care less about you cursing than we do about them damn eyelashes. Trust me.
Yeah.
So I'm not thinking about that shit. Like we're not.
Yeah.
Any rational guy is not.
That's how I feel. Like, I mean, I didn't really. I'm not gonna say I took it personal. I wanted to talk.
Mm-hmm.
To me, you know, not saying that I could do less person, but and it's not that I really cared about what they say, because it's like I know who I am, and I feel like the people around me know my heart, and to me that's all that matters. They love me, they know my heart, so I really don't care what like outside people that half-ass know me think about me. You know, I just think it was something that I really wanted to talk about, because like people would take, no matter how good you do sometimes, and I'm not necessarily talking about myself, but like anybody, you know, all the good that you do, take that away off of like one of your flaws, you know. And I think that's crazy to me, you know, to like
Yeah.
You know, because it's like I feel like no one walking this earth can sit there and say like you're 100% perfect. You can't sit here and say like you never lied, you never did this, you never, you know what I'm saying? So I just feel like to strictly judge someone off of, you know, cursing is crazy to me.
And I've had people tell me I curse too much.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely have.
Yeah.
I've had women who say, you know, it's just foul. Like I couldn't be around somebody like you all the time. Well, don't be around me then. Like
Yeah.
I'm not begging you to be in my presence. If it don't work for you, it don't work for you. I drink. I know people who don't want to be around me when I drink. That's fine. Go be around people who don't drink. I drink. I had a pastor in one time, and I was like, I'm gonna have me a damn drink. He came to my house. I didn't go to his house.
Right.
He came to sit down at my table. And if this is what I normally do at my table, why should I hide it? Right. I think being phony is a worse sin to me than being your true authentic self.
Right. Right.
So if you're gonna be authentic you and every now and then you gotta say damn or fuck, then be authentically you. I'd rather that than you sit there and train yourself to be something that you don't even like to be.
Right.
Because eventually that's gonna slip out. You can only wear a mask but for so long. So I'd rather you be yourself. And if you like to curse, curse. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. As opposed to somebody who's sitting there going, I'm just, you know, I'm not gonna curse because this person doesn't curse around me. And then you leave from in front of their presence and you get in the car and you like, fuck that. I need to get this shit out. It's a way to express yourself. And anybody who takes it, nobody should take it more than that. It's just a way of expressing yourself. Some people do it differently. Yeah, well, we like to express ourselves with a little bit of cursing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Well, I'm not gonna say women. I don't know. I just feel like I get it from my mother, unfortunately. Not to shame her or nothing, you know. Is one of the best people that I know, like the most kind-hearted person that I know.
Yeah,
so
no shame. No shame.
I'm not upset with me. You know, the people around me love me for who I am. Like I said, they, you know, not to say I don't care, not to say it's not something I could work on, but I'm also, like you said, going to be my authentic self, you know.
Like both my sisters have zero problem with cursing. They, whenever the hell they want to, especially my older sister, ironically, her name's also Bridget. Oh, by the way, happy birthday, Bridge. Today's her birthday. But
happy birthday.
She will curse. She don't give a shit who's in her presence.
Yeah.
So when my sons was coming up, when all my kids was coming up, I didn't really curse around them. It was just that I made. Mm-hmm. But when they got around my older sister, fuck, I'm supposed to tell my older sister, yo, watch your mouth, older sister. And she had no fucking problems with cursing. And the kids would like look at me like, oh, you know, say like, what the hell? Like she cursing. I'm like, yeah, get used to it. Just get used to it. When my youngest son, my youngest child, when he turned 18, it was like I had been keeping a mask on my face because I curse, but around them I wouldn't curse. The day he turned, everything come the fuck out. I let every F-bomb. And now when me and him talk, well, my oldest son, he already knows. He already knew. But my youngest son, he get on the phone with me. I'm like, what the fuck you been doing all day? And he's like, yeah, this is me. Hello, this is who the hell I've been hiding for all these years.
Yeah.
I'm holding a fucking fart. Let that shit go. What the fuck? Like, be yourself.
I feel like cussing sometimes. I feel like sometimes it places a little authority too.
It does.
You know,
it's assertive.
I put a little like you know,
right.
Like, you know, oh shit, she not playing. You know, I feel like sometimes you got, you know,
you gotta let it out. You gotta flex your muscle. Let it out.
Sometimes you gotta, you know, use.
Yeah, you gotta be heard.
Yeah.
Because you sound the same as what the fuck are you doing? It just sounds different.
Yeah.
It's a lot more assertive.
I feel like it is, you know. I feel like people like, oh shit.
That's
Shit,
right.
I can't fuck with her. You know, I feel like it needs to be done sometimes, though. You
You gotta
know,
let it out. You gotta let it out.
yeah. So I feel like sometimes people won't take you seriously unless you know.
They don't know how mad you really are, unless you add some expletives. Fuck it, some curse words in it. I
Yeah,
tried to be intelligent. Fuck that. Let that shit out. Like, as with anything,
yeah.
you can't hide who the hell you are. And the moment that you try to, you're defeating yourself, because the people who really care about you don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care. The people who know who you are, they don't give a shit about that. Like that's the least of the things on their mind.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
People who really know who Bridget is, they're not gonna be like, oh my god, Bridget said fuck, I can't take her serious. They're like, Bridget always says fuck.
Yeah.
Shit, like
Yeah. I don't know. I just feel like I feel like a lot of women cuss. All women might not cuss, but I'm also not, like you said, I'm not trying to paint a picture to be a perfect person. I just feel like a perfect person don't exist, you know, other than God on the cross. So I just feel like, you know, show me that you perfect and then maybe, you know, judge me. Like, you know, but yeah.
what shocked me one time is somebody who I've never seen curse.
Mm-hmm.
One time in my entire life, never heard a curse word come out their mouth, but it slipped out. The real them came to help. You curse? And it was like, yeah. Like, I'm not heard you curse. And they're like, just because you never heard me curse don't mean I don't curse.
Yeah.
You may not have been around me at the moment when that curse word was needed.
Mm-hmm.
But everybody lets one out.
Yeah. When they frustrated, yeah.
Hell yeah. And like you said, sometimes that X needs to be put on it. What the freak don't sound the same. Oh shoot, don't quite sound the same. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you need to put that period on it. And
right.
No, I'm serious in what I just said.
Exactly.
The words that I used, it was a serious situation.
Right.
You gotta let that like let it go. Yeah. Let it go. I hope everybody enjoyed. We kept the number at the bottom. I know I said this earlier, but for those who joined us later month, that's the hotline number. It'll get you to the help that you need anywhere in the United States. If you know somebody or if you need it, reach out to that number. We've had a great show. I hope everybody enjoyed it.
We did.
And anybody who don't understand the need to, just go somewhere in your house and just say, fuck it. It's going to make you feel so much better. It's going to release some tension.
Right.
So I know I am. I'm about to go upstairs and I'm going to get some fucking food and I'm going to fucking eat.
I'm going to fucking sleep.
That's right. But for out there, thanks for tuning in. As always, we like to ask y'all to please like, subscribe, share it. We are moving in the right direction. Help us get there. So if you enjoyed it, send it to some people. Let them enjoy it as well. We're going to see y'all next Wednesday, though. We tired and we want to go to fucking bed. So until next Wednesday, people, fuck you. No, later. Peace.